shin kicking as a sport. Best in form. Okay, that's embarrassing.
Why the wife's head at the man's ass? Welcome back, everybody.
Dynamite intro, darling.
Thanks.
Really nailed it.
Everyone needs a hype man like you.
Yeah, they sure do. They sure do. Even me. Today we're going to look at some outrageous competitive events, sports, if you will, things that are competitive or sports that probably just shouldn't exist, or if they do, we ask why.
This is a wife-carrying world championship. Every year, a small town in Finland hosts the International Wife-Carrying
Classic
Championship,
Finland.
where husbands have to carry their wives along the 250-meter-long track with obstacles.
Oh!
I have a very serious question before we finish.
Okay.
Why, when they're being carried, is the wife's head at the man's ass?
So she can smell that sweet brew when he lets him go in the mud run.
Hell no. That's the
ima-
only part of this I'm opposed
Well,
to.
I would imagine it's based on what makes the most sense for the longevity of the run, like maybe piggybacks too hard. Or maybe it's required. I don't know. Let's
Where a dozen countries come to compete in the championship. The designated wife should be at least 17 years old and weighs in at
I would hope so.
Jesus.
8 pounds. And if
I don't know
the
how they
wife
do
is
it in
lighter
Finland.
than that,
Oh.
She should carry a weighted rucksack.
Oh.
The champions win the equivalent of the wife's weight in beer, a bag full of wife-carrying
about right.
merchandise, and an official logo statue.
Would you get down with that?
I would feel like I would crush that event with
I
you on
think
my
you
back.
would.
Yeah, absolutely. You're like half my weight, but I would definitely eat beans before that. Just so you
Yeah,
had
no.
that
I
set
would
there.
request the right side up piggyback. It's also kind of hard to be like hanging upside down the whole time.
It looks like that's how you have to do it. They're getting smashed with water along the way and
Can
stuff.
you just carry me in your arms like a cradle?
just like a little baby.
I'll just hold my arms around your neck.
That's like I don't know what a fireman's carries like over the shoulder,
I
probably.
think over the shoulder.
Yeah. So it must be a requisite that you have to hold them like that.
Anyway, it looks fun.
All right, first one's a success. My wife is excited about wife carrying. If we ever want to travel to Finland, we'll have 100 and some odd pounds worth of beer if we win. So incentive.
The sport of bed racing,
racing.
has
Oh my
been
gosh.
embraced by a North Yorkshire town called Knaresborough. The competitors
Yorkshire
race in
town?
teams of 6, plus
England.
1 on the bed. The bed runs on 4 wheels, but also has to have the ability to float.
Come on.
That's because after they pass the castle top, each bed will have to cross the river.
So
2 for 2. I'm down for that
You're
one.
down-
I
yeah.
will be in the bed.
Yeah, anything with the possibility of my wife just lying in a bed, she will do. Yeah, even if it's a sport where she has to float on a river with 6
Fine,
people
yeah.
pushing
Just
her.
I'll come prepared.
You know what's funny about that is, so that sounded like it was in England, but in the timing of it's crazy because the bed race is a Newburyport thing where I grew up.
No.
Yeah, there's an
You sure
annual
about
bed race, and
that?
I'm pretty sure it happens this week during Yankee Homecoming. It's like a week-long event they do with like a bunch of different stuff and vendors and stuff like that, and they always had a bed race. It's called the bed race. Yeah,
Sure.
I grew up. Newburyport bed racing, a favorite event of locals, and it happens during Yankee Homecoming, which is this week.
All right.
That's kind of wild. Here we go. It's not like a legit race. I think it's more part of a No, you know what? It is a race.
That looks so fun.
Yeah. Maybe we should sign
Have you
up.
ever entered it?
No, I never did it, but that used to.
on, dude.
Dude, that's right on Water Street. It used to be like 2 blocks away from where I grew up. It's not.
Again, I just want to be the person just sitting there smiling, doing some silly stuff.
It's not as competitive. It's more like fun there compared to the
Yeah.
one we saw in England, which looked very competitive, and they were going through water and stuff. But
Listen, it's as competitive as you make it.
But the idea is transatlantic.
Have you ever heard of toe wrestling? It's
No.
a strange and hilarious competition in which participants try to pin their opponent's foot to the ground using only their toes.
No.
Come
The
on.
World Toe Wrestling Championship has been held annually in the UK since 1976, and it attracts competitors from all over the world.
UK once
To
again.
win, a participant must win 3 out of 5.
And America gets
Just
a lot of
no.
shit for dumb stuff, but so far I'm seeing some real dumb stuff coming out of the UK and the Finland area right now. Toe wrestling.
But it's not as easy as it sounds. Toe wrestling requires a lot of skill, strength,
No.
and strategy.
No.
Competitors
I don't
must
care.
use their toes to grasp and twist their opponent's foot, trying to force it
Do you
down
see
to
how
the ground.
serious this man's face
Despite
is?
its silly nature, the World Toe Wrestling Championship
Again, UK. Man's dressed up in a suit, tie, got the button
Reporting on
links
some
up here.
serious business.
Yeah, talking about toe wrestling.
is a serious competition, with a trophy and prize money on the line. And who knows, maybe one day we'll see toe wrestling in the Olympics.
No.
Negative. I actually hate you for even suggesting that. What is the trophy? You get like a bottle of athlete's foot spray?
This fight started pretty badly. as Dan almost exclusively went for crotch shots.
Shin kicking as a sport. Why is he allowed to wear...
Wait. What?
Luckily, I'd stuffed my crotch as usual, and so was unaffected.
I don't even really need to know more about that, except that that's definitely also not in the United States.
Can you wear shin pads?
It looked like he did, but I don't know if that's because he was like a guest, like performing, and like he wasn't a professional shin kicker, so they let him, you know, put on the heavy shin pads. The person he was playing didn't. It looks like they were kicking him in the balls though the entire time. Yes!
This is the Balloon World Cup. The rules are pretty clear. Hit the balloon up, and whatever you do, don't let it touch the ground.
Sure.
Also, try not to dislocate your shoulder diving into a parked car.
Ooh.
But honestly, you gotta do what you gotta do. The Balloon World Cup sets up obstacles throughout the room to make players' lives difficult. But don't worry, that's
Good Lord, this is quite the editing on this short
I
right here.
know.
I'll tell you that. They really gave it their all.
the helmet's for. Bruises are temporary. Balloon World Cup glory lasts forever. The sport has taken off and even has celebrities playing on live TV.
Oh, come on.
Look at Shaq
Stop
right here with
now.
no regard for his bones, laying out and keeping the play alive.
Dude, is
Let
he
us know
okay?
what weird sport you want us
It's a
to
big
do
man
next.
falling down there.
Talk about the cheapest sport.
I didn't know that was like a newer thing, apparently, that's starting to take over.
I mean,
Is pickleball
according
going to
to-
be on here? Yeah,
according to who?
according to who?
Everybody thinks we're mad, and probably we are.
Yeah.
But I don't care.
Worm charming is the act of getting earthworms to come up from the ground. Sometimes for fishing bait, but sometimes because you're involved in one of the many competitive events around the globe. The way it works is you try to
Here's
get
the
as many
trophy.
worms out of the ground in a set amount of time. The person with the most worms wins. You can play a flute, you can hammer the drums, or maybe even do some tap dancing. Basically any kind
Okay.
of vibration goes, but whatever you do not use water. Those are like worm PEDs. The Guinness Book World Record was set in 2009
That's funny.
when 10-year-old Sophie Smith attracted 567 worms
Come on.
in just 30 minutes. Good God, that's a lot of worms.
sounds like a good sport for children.
Part of me is envious of people that are this carefree in life, where you're just like pumped about a worm charming local event. God, imagine having that level of joy in your life. You want to think they're crazy, but at the same time, they're probably happier than 98% of the planet that doesn't worm charm. Oh my God, hon, competitive sleeping?
Yes, I'm the winner.
I don't even need to watch this. I'm signing you up.
Spoiler alert.
Take place in a controlled and comfortable environment, ensuring the best possible sleeping conditions
can't be
for
real.
all participants. Competitors are provided with soft bedding and a quiet, dark room to help them get a good night's
They
sleep.
get like boxer
The
walkouts.
competition lasts for 24 hours, with participants being monitored throughout the duration to ensure fairness and safety. Points are awarded based on the length of time each competitor stays asleep.
This is this one. You were born to be a competitive sleeper. Are you kidding me? I didn't think you would ever be able to compete professionally at something, but like sports-wise at this point in your life. But I'm convinced that if you, with the proper training, you could be in the competitive sleeping world championships.
Yes, I could.
In less than a week.
No training required. I got this.
You might be able to go right now and just clean house. Oh God, no, not the hobby horse again. So we saw this. What did we see? Was that in the unexpected video we did? It was.
think so.
It was in one video where this girl cleared a hobby horse high jump that was literally over her head.
Yeah.
They're doing it now. So let's. International Hobby Horse Association, best in form. Okay, that's embarrassing. Hitting the high jump. I'll give you credit for the athleticism, but best in form at a hobby horse show, like, that's too embarrassing. Freestyle finalist. Random Michael Scott meme at the end. I'm trying to find like a redeeming quality about the hobby horse sport.
I don't know, man.
But every time I think of like, oh, you have to be athletic to jump over the high jumps and stuff, like all of that is overshadowed by how ridiculous you look.
It is.
There's just no way that I can get past the fact that you're fucking running around with a horse head on a broom in between your legs. I just can't get past it. I'm sorry. You're definitely homeschooled. You definitely are either Mormon, like you are just raised a little bit strange if you're in a hobby horse competition. And believe me, I was homeschooled a lot of my life. I did some things with other homeschoolers that I look back on, I'm like, that was some weird ass. Yeah. Hobby horsing wasn't one of them, but there were some things that were pretty close.
Chair volleyball.
Senior winter games just sounds amazing.
I'm all for it. I love it.
Let's go. How do you even... Oh no, Gladys! Oh. Steven up front is not taking any shit from anybody. No!
I love this.
I'll play that 100 times out of 100 over hobby horsing, okay?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Stop it. No, he does not land that. He landed it wrong. What is, there's just, okay. Yeah, let's just take a humongous skateboarding half pipe or like X Game half pipe and turn it into a sport where we put wheels on recliners. That's like some ridiculous airtime, and he was actually controlling.
How many people are watching?
Huge. I have to imagine that was like a little like halftime show, like an X Games event maybe. Unless half pipe reclining is that popular where it commands an audience of that size.
How the?
If you think there's too many penalties in pro football, maybe check out Unicycle Football. Invented in San Marcos, Texas, this 5-on-5 league features everything you'd see in a regular football game. There's passing,
Wait,
there's running, there's monster hits, all on top of a unicycle.
Monster
and yes,
hits?
There's even kickoffs, which are
What?
determined by an opening joust. So if you're ever in San Marcos, I highly encourage checking out a game, or hell, maybe they'll even let you play if they're
No
down
thanks.
a guy. Just make sure you bring a helmet.
The minimum entry fee is you have to have at least a 6-pack of beer in your system to play Unicycle Football. I
Talk
mean,
about injuries.
I'm just kind of like out of words at this point. They're playing on like concrete, are they not?
Yes. Yes.
With no pad. Speaking of contests, this is the one I was made for.
Are you really good at doing nothing? Well, this contest might be right up your alley.
Yep.
It's called the Space Out Contest, and each year contestants gather in a South Korean park to compete at literally doing nothing. Each person gets 90 minutes to try and do the least amount of stuff as possible. No eating, sleeping, talking, or anything that falls under the category of doing something. At the end of the 90 minutes, a panel of judges pick a winner who they feel has done the least, and they get a gold medal, along with the right to call themselves the champion until next year's event.
I know a lot of people that could probably win that event. Although interestingly, it's a little different than I was thinking, where I'm like, oh, you just need to be just like easily distracted, like everyone is now these days. But it's honestly
You just completely zone.
for most people very difficult to sit for 90 minutes. That would be like a meditation person's event, like someone who can sit in silence with themselves for a long time. Like that's your event right there. So a lot of people would be very hard pressed to sit for 90 minutes doing nothing. I'm not even sure that I could. That'd be a lot. Like it's not. I'm okay with spending time with myself, but 90 minutes is a long time. Oof, good thumbnail.
Very. Okay. All right.
That was awesome.
This looks
Oh,
outrageous.
the belly flop.
No.
First woman to ever win the death diving championship. That's sick, dude.
That scares the crap out of me.
That's equality. Turns out it was a trans woman.
I think we gotta go.
I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding, but you understand why I'm kidding. What we learned today is that my wife has a chance to be an international competitive sleeping world champion.
Yes. I could also be the person on the bed in the bed racing.
And I might be pushing a bed in a bed race not too long from now. You guys let us know what you thought was your favorite sport in the comments below. We appreciate your time as always. Thanks for watching with us. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.